Good morning, everyone. I'm going to present the topic validation of dynamic simulation models using metamorphic testing and given when then patterns. This work is done at Ovo Academy University. I'm a doctoral student along with my supervisor Dragos Toscan and our collaborators Mikhail from Novia University of Applied Sciences and Christian Clemets from University of Turku. The motivation for this work is in maritime systems. The systems are evolving, and the system of systems are kind of like getting complex with automation and automation solutions and control systems. We want to facilitate early testing of simulation models during the early stage of development life cycle. And for this, in our approach, we propose the use of metamorphic testing and integrating it with behavior-driven development to improve the test automation and coverage to ensure quality at an early phase of product life cycle. And metamorphic testing, it is a testing technique based on the behavioral properties of the system. And often simulation models are designed to represent the properties and desired behavior of the real system that it represents. And metamorphic testing, it was proposed originally as a solution for the test oracle problem, where the explicit expected output of the system is not available for testing. And it is also proposed as a solution for the automated test case generation problem. And in metamorphic testing, the key concept is the use of metamorphic relations. And they are composed of input and output relations in which a seed output is transformed to a morphed output using an input relation. So it is a function which transforms the seed input to the morphed output. And then the system is executed multiple times to generate different set of outputs called as seed outputs and morphed outputs. And those outputs are expected to be in an output relation, which is used for the test verdict assignment. And in behavior-driven testing, we use the features and scenarios which represent the desired functional behavior of the system under test as the acceptance criteria for test verdict assignment. And it uses this given, when, then format in the sense like in the given condition, it states an initial condition, and then when it has a test action that is performed on the inputs, and then we'll check the test outcome or the expected output behavior of the system. And this is used to define the tests. And the overview of our approach is that we use this simulation models which are generated using modeling tools such as MATLAB Simulink, and then it is wrapped as FMUs following this FMI standard. And they have this specification documents in which their expected behavior and the safety conditions that it should follow is specified. And we have this metamorphic input-output relations specified for the system under test, keeping in mind the dynamics of the system. And the tests are generated in given, when, then format. And to evaluate our approach, we have used a lubricating oil cooling system, the FMU of a lubricating oil cooling system, which is kind of like transferring the heat from lubricating oil to the cooling water in the engine unit of a ship. So it has inputs like cooling liquid, temperature, mass flow, and the set point temperature set for the lube oil entering the engine, and then the engine load, which shows the current load on the engine. And it influences the heat that is generated. And this outputs and the parameters, it is defined in the FMU. So the FMU as a package, it has the model description XML file as well. So all this information is extracted from the model description XML file when the tool takes the FMU as the input, and it generates a JSON file with the input-output specifications. And it also has the expected value ranges for the inputs and the outputs. Given the fact that this information is present in the model description XML. And we also have this technique to extract this information from a specification document using natural language processing techniques. And the first step is to extract the information from the XML, and then we proceed with the next step where we define the features and scenarios to be tested for the system under test. And at this point, if the relevant information is not extracted from the documents, a domain expert needs to be in the loop to kind of enter this information. And then comes the generating the test in the given when then format, where we have to enter the relevant data. So the given has the initial conditions for the system. So the value ranges would be picked from the specification JSON file. And then the user can enter, or the test engineer can enter the initial value for the variables. And then in the given condition, we can define the metamorphic relations for the input. So one example would be a transformation relation would be it follows a step pattern where the temperature is increasing, or a drift pattern where the rate of change is slow. So the ramp rate for each of these variables, it is defined based on the domain expertise. And then for the output verification check, we can select the output and then the relevant output conditions that can be applied to the output variable that is selected. So in this case, the scenario which was defined was that the temperature of the lube oil should kind of like be in a certain boundary limits. And when we have usually what happens in this testing is even though the temperature has a defined range, for example, 65 and 80, usually when the FMU is verified, the simulation is run once with an average temperature of this value range. So in metamorphic testing, it allows to define this structured test input patterns, which can be used for checking if the system is the correctness of the system and the logical consistency, and if it is behaving as expected. So we can select these output metamorphic relations for whatever output variables are there. And then upon generating the test, it creates this kind of like test automatically based on this data entered. So it's just like entering data in a form, and then we can generate these tests automatically. So the advantage of this is that these tests serve like an executable test specification. So these tests can be executed automatically using the Python behave BDD library, and these tests are executed against the FMU using PyFMI library from Modelon. And once these tests are generated, the test report is generated in a format called Allure, which is like it gives the graphs and the relevant statistics of how many tests have passed and failed. And this report can also be integrated with task management tools such as Jira and Jenkins or Git. So we are enabling this kind of executable test specification generation using metamorphic test patterns. And in our future work, we have this. So based on, right now it is designed to test standalone FMUs. So it's kind of like a system level unit testing that is enabled through this approach. And we have different kind of systems in maritime domain. So we plan to define the system specific metamorphic relation patterns and output relation patterns. And to expand this to address all different kind of like systems in maritime domain. And then it is also in the work plan to integrate the automation workflow with the task management tools to enable the complete CI/CD pipeline. And we also plan to improve the automation, not just to support the system level testing, but also to address the integration testing when we have all the components ready for testing. And this work is done as part of the virtual sea trial project, where the focus is to shift the system level testing of components months or years earlier prior to this product release using virtual commissioning and testing technologies. Yeah, thank you for your attention.